A guy who forgot to come up with a cold open says what?
What? It's the Tall Tale Tavern Trevor 1320 Talk Show. Kyle, roll a D100. It's the T Show. Hurry up, Kyle, and roll the T Show.
No tavern roll today. No dice tower, so the D100 is rolling everywhere. It is a 12.
A 12? Okay. Nice and low, a 12. Ooh,
nice
all
and
right.
low.
I love
We're keeping
this.
It
Is
low
now
key
this
today with a 12.
This is my kind of question because I wrote it. Kyle, we are going to be I didn't get a timer up, so this is irrelevant. Hold on, let me get a timer. We haven't recorded.
It's all irrelevant.
In a minute.
Irrelevant.
It's been a minute since we recorded. I need a D20. Here we go. Here we go for our time. Okay.
Been a minute.
Oh yeah, baby. We got 18 minutes, Kyle, and this is a question really aimed directly at my heart and soul, which is inspired by Lament of the Void. What are your favorite horror movies and stories? And our time starts now.
Wonderful. So you wrote a question though. Just what's your favorite horror movies?
Yeah, inspired by Lament of the Void,
I love
which is a horror story. Oh, and it's not movie. I didn't just say movies. It's horror movies and stories. So if you have like horror books, things like that you would like to call upon, you could whip out an Edgar Allan Poe story. You could tell me it's the Mask of the Red Death.
We've got 18 minutes. Can I just recite the Raven?
I would love for you to recite the Raven in its entirety.
Love that. It's one of my favorite moments in high school was in sophomore English honors and reciting the Raven for the group.
He was in honors English.
I was in honors in that one year, and I said I think it's too much, and I dropped out of honors after sophomore year.
That's English, so funny. We're the exact opposite. I was in honors 9th grade, then I dropped it and did regular English 10th grade, then I went back up to honors 11th. So we just missed each other like ships passing in the night, Kyle.
It really was, yeah. Because I was like, I'm not so sure about this. In hindsight, I think it was. I think I had the reason I chose it was because I heard that there were like more reports, or that it was just more work to be in honors or AP English, and like regular was like, I was like, I'm pretty good. I think I can just skate by and like not have as much work.
Kyle, you're speaking my language right there. I think I can just skate by. That's how I like.
So that's why I went down to regular, and then I didn't end up like doing fantastic at it. You know, I did fine, but it wasn't like.
And it's not like writing or anything like that has followed you in your life, I know. Stupid. Okay, this question, Kyle, you're right. This is kind of this is. I did just write this because I thought it'd be easy to talk about horror movies for any length of time, basically. You want to keep into the realm of space horror. I don't know if there's that many space horror movies, but I'm looking at my own Letterboxd right now. I've got 441 horror films logged, so hopefully we can find something to talk about.
Hopefully we can find something to talk about for 18 minutes. While we're on the topic, I do want to, because you brought up books, because we're talking about literature first.
Yes.
I have not read a horror novel before.
Really?
Yeah, I have not. I was talking to a friend who I kind of sort of tried to get into Brandon Sanderson, and he read the Mistborn trilogy, kind of liked it, kind of was medium on it, and and he told me, he's like, I like to read horror. I had no clue that this guy liked to read like horror novels, but I've never read Stephen King. I've never read any horror novels before.
That is kind of surprising to me, mostly just because your brother-in-law, I feel like, that probably has every single Stephen King book, and loves them.
Yes,
I feel like it'd be so easy to I'm just surprised he hasn't been like, you should read this one, and handed one to you, just knowing him. Mm-hmm. I've got 2 horror novels from him on my bedside table right now. So that's.
I feel like I have to do it because I was just reading / listening to Project Hail Mary, which I'm loving this book. I'm ripping through this audiobook. But
It's tearing,
like
ripping through it. He's listening to it at 8x speed.
yeah.
He looks like a freaking MTAT from Dune when he's listening to it. He's
for the first time in my life, though, with the audiobook, I don't have the physical copy, and today I was like, I want to keep listening. But I don't have anything to do. I didn't have any cleaning. Usually when I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm like driving, I'm doing something. So I sat on my couch with the earbuds
absolutely
in.
not. That's psychotic behavior.
And sat there and listened and just sat there with eyes open. It felt so weird. Gary told me later, she was like, I saw you doing that. I was like, I didn't have anything else to do. And I wanted to keep listening to this book. But the reason I'm bringing up that book to get us back on track is I like how books, they make me like, it's like watching a movie, but the effect lingers longer for me. Like when I'm reading something, something's like exciting. I feel like the effect lingers longer, and I have gotten more into horror movies the past, 10 years. And like, I think that reading a horror book would like sit with me longer, and I think I need to delve into that somehow. So
I think you're right. I'm somebody who I'm very desensitized to horror movies, and I do find like I don't read a ton of horror books, but I seek them out because I feel like when I get a great horror book, it affects me more than a horror movie does these days when I'm like in the headspace of the characters during these like awful things that are happening maybe. I remember, just speaking of audiobooks, when I drove across the country from here to California for my internship by myself, the whole way I was going, I listened to Stephen King's It. The audiobook for that as like I find, because I don't want to listen to music, it makes me sleepier, but something that's scary and like there's a lot of plot going on while I'm driving late at night helps keep me awake and tense, so it's one of my favorite horror stories, just for the memory of being like in the middle of the desert at night alone, driving, listening to it, no cars anywhere, just creepy Pennywise the clown terrorizing these kids. And Celia and I did something similar back before Dot was born. We did Stephen King's son, Joe Hill, he goes by, I think. He has a book called Nosferatu, which is about, it's like a vampire type story, obviously, but it's about like a man who like sucks the life force out of like kids who get in his car, basically, or something like that, is what I remember. He says he's going to take them to Christmas Town. And like drive and then sucks them into his body or some creepy shit like that. But it's a pretty good book, pretty creepy.
I'd like to go.
You would love to go. You would get in that car if he offered for you to go to Christmas Town. You would get tricked.
Absolutely, sign me up.
I think they made a show of it on AMC. But don't watch that. Read the book. Obviously, Kyle, when it comes to horror movies, my favorite's Halloween. We all know that, so we don't even need to talk about that. I'm a big fan. I don't know. What are your horror tastes? What scares you? Some people like religious horror doesn't work on me really at all, but like slasher horror.
Religious horror is awful for me. That's the worst. Easy. The worst. Yeah. Religious horror. Can't stand it. That's the crazy stuff for me. Like it's so like there's such a range to what can actually scare you, right? Paranormal Activity to me is scary to me because that's like religious, right? That's like ghosts or
what's interesting to me is
spiritual warfare stuff.
You're right, and I'm not afraid of like I'm not afraid of The Exorcist. I'm not afraid of a demon or the devil possessing like me in that way. But Paranormal Activity does scare me, I think, because it's like it's more ghosty. And ghost stuff scares me more than even though I've been on the record as saying that ghosts are dumb and they're not scary because they can't hurt you. They're just dumb dead people in your house. But it does freak me out at least a little bit more. And Paranormal Activity has like a whole witch angle going too with it.
It does.
I think it's because there's like an evil of people involved that bring it out that freaks me out more. But for me, the ultimate is I'm always most frightened by just somebody trying to get into your house and murder you. I think it's because
that's the worst.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, my siblings made me watch Halloween, Friday the 13th, Child's Play, all these movies that are just slasher movies. Although Child's Play is obviously like a fucking doll that comes to life to try to kill you, but. I mean, that was the thing I was most afraid of, I think, from the age of like 6 to 13. I feel like I wouldn't get out of bed at night because I was worried Chucky was under my bed and he was going to like slash my tendons and get me if I did. I don't know if I've ever...
Yeah.
You say what you're going to say.
No, I was just gonna piggyback off of being scared as a kid. The first horror movie I saw was Signs, and I was awake for like 2 weeks at night, picturing in my head the blue guy peering into my room and watching me, and that's it.
The kids at the birthday party,
it's like freaking me out.
Yes. They're screaming and they.
Maybe there's something to like creatures walking that get to me, because Weapons, that movie, awesome movie. I watched it by myself, which I like almost never do for horror movies, but Carrie can't watch movies where kids are involved. But the scene in that movie, close your ears for a couple seconds if you don't want to hear the scary part, but or be spoiled. But when the lady's walking out of the house and she's sleeping in the car,
that's so
and
good.
And like walking up, I'm like sitting there in my dark basement, like I don't like this at all. Like this is like that was very scary for me. Where
that
I was
like, one of my favorite moments in a theater was the second time seeing Weapons, that scene, because they played I knew what was going to come, and it just played on the whole crowd so perfectly, because she comes out and she stares at the window and the tension is so high in the room, you can feel it. And then she walks away and the whole crowd lets out a sigh of relief, but then you hear the back hatch on the car open and like everybody in the car was like, like I could just see everybody freak out, and it was so perfect.
That's the best theater experiences I've had were Paranormal Activity, and it's because of that. It's because of the intense emotion of the crowd that you can feel. And what I liked about Paranormal Activity specifically is every night scene you had that, where everyone was like clenching and moving in their seat because it was a night scene, and we were all waiting for that blanket to move, and then get freaked out by that. But
that's like the strength of a horror movie. Like the best one. What's so great about Paranormal Activity is it has like established parameters of when the scary things can happen. So it lets you constantly go from like relaxed back to incredibly tense, oscillating between that with the pattern. It's so good. And I want to circle back to Signs, because that's perfect that you have that as one of your first scary movies, because that is like a religious horror movie. Like the aliens are analogs for demons in that movie. He's a man who's lost his faith, and it's water, like holy water, that repels them, and it is kind of perfect that would be what connects with you. And I love that movie as well.
Yeah. That's great.
What was I going to say? I'm not a huge zombie horror guy. I always find that zombies, it depends on what kind of zombie it is, but like I'm not afraid of like a shambling horde of zombies, I guess, in the same way that I
think I'm afraid of them as long as the characters are afraid of them. Like Walking Dead season 1, amazing. Even like Left 4 Dead, when they're afraid of the zombies and the zombies have that power over the characters still, I feel that. But once they like become adept at killing the zombies and they get a little lax with it, and then it becomes more about, humans versus humans, that's when I lose some interest in the zombie storyline.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I think even knowing that, I recommended 28 Years Later to you before, which I don't feel really prioritizes the I don't think it's trying to be as scary of a movie, those movies, but it definitely doesn't prioritize the zombies as the scariest thing compared to people. But I still think you would like it because the movie is sort of structured around.
We did. Carrie and I watched it.
Oh, you did?
We watched it. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you like it?
Because I was looking up. I was like, Scott recommended, because we're looking kind of for scary movies or whatever, and turn it on. And I searched and it showed the main actor, Peaky Blinders.
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. I was like, oh, Cillian Murphy's in that? And Carrie was like, sold. And so we immediately turned it on.
Hell yeah.
Because anything with Cillian Murphy we'll watch immediately. And so I liked it. I remember I didn't really end up, I don't think I loved it.
Well, that's so you watched 28 Days Later, right?
Days, yes. The first one.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I think specifically 28 Years Later is what you will like. and 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Those ones don't have Cillian Murphy in them really. But the character Ralph Fiennes plays as like a doctor in the apocalypse, I think is somebody you'll find really interesting. And the way that he sort of still it sticks to his, you know, sort of doctor morality, even in this kind of horrific landscape, and tries to find ways to better the world around him, is just, I think, I found it very profound, very, very beautiful. And I think you would really get something out of it too, if you ever watch those two.
I want to continue watching it. I love a pandemic type movie. And it was, it was fun. The first one was fun. I liked it, but maybe wasn't obsessed over it.
I think the first one is a type of movie that was really you had to experience it in the moment, because it's like its filmmaking style is so much of what made it so cool. Like I'm sure you noticed that it looks like shit. Like the movie is so ugly to look at, and it's just because it's filmed on like cheap digital cameras for like shoestring budget, and it just feels very kinetic to me in a way that a lot of movies didn't feel at the time. And it basically, like, I don't know, the rage zombie virus that it portrays felt very unique to that movie at the time. I don't know if that's as unique now. I mean, it's kind of, but we've got 3 minutes left, Kyle, to talk about horror movies that we love. I'm a big fan of anything classic 80s slasher horror, but I don't really find a lot of them to be like scary necessarily anymore. They're like comfort food to me, even though I was saying like those are the things that freaked me out the most as a kid. At this point, I'm just desensitized to them, I guess, or trauma bonded to them. But the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are the ones that, other than Chucky, and I would say those are the ones that scared me the most as a kid, is the Nightmare on Elm Streets, because those are the ones that Freddy he attacks you in your dreams. And that's like the one spot that you tell yourself as a kid you're safe, you know, when the horror movie started. Oh, great, Freddy's in my nightmare. Oh, it's just a nightmare. Yeah. Great, he can fucking kill you in your nightmare. That sucks. Oh, man.
You know, there's I've never seen that series, but go ahead. What did you say?
I'm just sad that you've never seen those movies now. The first one is worth watching, and the third one, you probably can skip the rest of them. Nice. I would say. And Freddy versus Jason, a classic, of course. That's worth watching if you can get over.
Oh, I've seen that. That's the only one I've seen. I've seen Freddy versus Jason. So
why have you seen Freddy versus Jason?
That's the only Jason movie and the only Freddy movie I've ever seen is Freddy versus Jason.
Okay. Well, if you liked it, it's more of a Freddy movie than a Jason movie in tone, I would say. So if you want to see more of that, look for Freddy movies. Goodness. What was I going to say? Oh, I wanted to bring it back. We only have a minute and a half left, but since this question is inspired by cosmic horror, I wanted to bring it back to the Alien franchise, which is sort of like combines cosmic horror and slasher elements. And that was a movie that I saw when I was really young too, that freaked me out, I would say. But things that are set in space, I can at least I can distance myself from it. It's not as scary as Halloween or something that's set in the suburbs, where it's like if I look outside my window at fall, it looks like Halloween outside, right? Like it looks like one of those movies. You're not looking
out your window and seeing space.
No. If I'm looking out my window and seeing space, I would be very scared. I'll tell you that much. I don't want to be in space.
Alien series is one I absolutely need to watch. I need to do it.
You need to watch the first one, and honestly, really, the first three are all kind of cool because they're all made by people who went on to become like massive auteurs. You'd love Aliens because you love James Cameron movies. Like,
oh yeah,
there's no way you wouldn't like that one. Special shout out, as I'm looking at the horror movies in front of me real quick, to From Dusk Till Dawn, the movie that possibly scarred me the most of any horror movie, because it doesn't treat itself as a horror movie for the first half. Nobody told me it was a horror movie for the first half. And in the midst of a sexy dance by Salma Hayek, she turns into like a demon vampire and starts ripping like dude's throats out. So time is up, but just a very confused young Scott being sexually awakened by Salma Hayek, and then suddenly everybody's dying.
What did that do to you psychosexually in that moment for the rest of your life?
Don't worry about it, all right? You don't need to ask Celia about what kind of weird shit we get up to in the bedroom.
Good thing time's up for you.
Yes. Whew, thank goodness time is up. Kyle, boom, everybody, welcome to the Tall Tale Tavern Triple Threat D20 Talk Show. And this is a free one. This is going out to everybody because it's March 2nd, everybody, when you're hearing this. Look at that.
3226, baby.
It's the day after Compliment Day. So Kyle, you're looking great, by the way.
Sure is. Thank you.
I can say that because when Celia and I were looking to make a doctor's appointment with you, you look like absolute shit in your pictures, and you really need to update them.
They've been saying that since day one, since I've worked there.
They
took the picture I lost 15 pounds.
You look like you are one of Donald Trump's large, fat adult sons in your picture. You look so bad.
That explains some of my new patients. No, I'm just joking.
I just looked at it. I was like, "That's Kyle." I was like, "There's no way I was letting Kyle walk around looking like this. What's going on?"
Literally,
here?
I started 4.5 years ago, and my patients were like, "You don't really look like your picture." I was like, I know, I don't, but here it is, and it's not changed, and it's because the picture was taken, and I think I lost 20 pounds like after the picture was taken.
You've lost probably more than 20 pounds. I feel like looking at the difference. I was like, Kyle was unhealthy by the end of his early med school time or whatever, like your late med school period, your med student period. You were probably not living your healthiest lifestyle during that time. I mean, imagine.
If you're a listener of this podcast, if you have heard me talk about some unhealthy eating habits and things in the past. Those haven't gone away completely, but it's like I don't eat easy cheese on nutty bars all the time anymore, right?
You did post a picture of you putting jelly on a nutty bar like 2 months ago in the
but that's genius.
That is genius.
Take the wafers off and a little thin line of jelly in between. That was delicious. That was so good. But that's like a meal in itself of calories. So you got to be careful.
Speaking of health, Kyle, I know we're not doing them at the intro anymore, but I was just thinking, how are your push-ups going? You keeping up?
Nope, completely abandoned it. The New Year's resolution is gone. Damn. I just went on a week vacation, and earlier today I was like, I didn't do a single push-up that vacation.
That's specifically why I was thinking about it. I was like, was Kyle in Canada in that hotel room just sitting down doing his push-ups before bed?
Push-ups.
I don't think so.
No, it was not happening. I completely forgot. So if there's an amendment where Canada doesn't count because it was
I think that is true. You were out of the country, so that's not.
I was out of the country, so it doesn't count. Then maybe I'll resume tomorrow. I'm feeling really strong about this.
Well, you were in Canada, and so because there's like actual health care there that's free. You don't really need to be as healthy, so you don't need to do the push-ups. Once you get back in America, that's when you got to start thinking about it again.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I was eating like maple syrup and everything. They really do put it in a lot. Like it's like their sweetener is maple syrup up there, which was fun. I like maple syrup. But,
I love a genuine maple syrup. Yeah, I should have had you bring me back some like coffee crisps and other things they have there. I love some Canadian snack foods.
Oh, I had a coffee crisp. Yeah, that was a chocolate bar. Yeah, one of the first things we did was at like a gas station or something. We just grabbed a bunch of different chocolate bars and things that they don't have in the States. Apparently Kit Kats are made differently.
Mm-hmm. It's because Kit Kats are made by a different company, I think. It's like Nestle in one country, maybe here it's Nestle, and then other places it's a different company that makes Kit Kats, and they have different chocolate recipe. I don't know why that's the case, but I've read that before.
I felt like it was more wafery, but I don't really know. It tasted like a Kit Kat bar to me. So
no, look at that. He's not buying it, folks. He's not buying the Kit Kat.
It was good. I love Kit Kats, but like when I'm
Kyle
wolfing
ate
them
one
down,
and he said, "This is different." Give me a break.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. But Canada was great, and there was more than one time where Carrie and I just thought maybe we could just stay here. Our kids weren't with us, which was a problem.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue. You're going to probably want to see them again.
Yeah, and figure out how to actually immigrate if that's a possibility. But
if you're looking to adopt any more kids, I'm available if we're moving to Canada. Okay.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
let me know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck here. Don't leave me here, Kyle. Okay.
We have to learn French though, because we were in the French part in Montreal and Quebec, and it'd be nice to be able to speak the language there. They all speak English,
Well,
but
Celia took French in high school, so
great. So she can be my teacher.
Yeah.
Great.
Tavern news, Kyle. Tavern news. We've got it. We've got the Midnight at the Museum release is actually imminent, right? I believe we've settled on. If you're listening to this, it's coming out in 2 days.
Yeah.
Oof.
Woo. Holy smokes.
Get excited,
Get
folks.
your ears ready. Get excited. Put it on your
I
calendar.
hope your ears are ringing with anticipation and not tinnitus. It's going to be good. Becca is back to DM, the Croak Goat herself. It's a really fun adventure that is filled with, I think, a lot of great role play and intrigue going on.
It is. Yeah. Excited to give this one a listen. I got to take a break from doing the music. Thank you, Becca. And I was a player in this one too. So very excited to have this one come out. And then we're going to do this first episode this week. And then in 2 weeks, the second episode, I think is
classic tavern release schedule for this one shot of a week in between, unless by some miracle I get the episode edited extra fast or something and we decide to change that, and in which case if that happens you'll know because it will be in your feed, but I don't think that's going to change, so don't even worry about it. I think that's the only bit of tavern news for right now.
I think so. I think so.
Then I think it's time for us to, oh man, this will be interesting. How are people going to respond to us asking them to roll right now? Such an off.
It is.
This is for those who don't know, this is a Tall Tale Tavern Triple 1320 Talk Show Night Edition. We are doing the rare night record to catch up since Kyle had his great northern excursion.
Let's see who responds. I just asked the Discord to please roll a D100 and then a D20.
Excellent. And I have now, Kyle, I did something a little controversial, but I cleared it with the judges. I rolled a D20 earlier while looking at the Patreon question sheet, and I liked the number that I rolled, so I'm going to keep it. The judges have approved that answer, so it's fine. And there is a question coming to us from Zombie Doc himself, which I guess you'll need to roll the time for, which is, of all vehicles across the Tall Tale Tavern Pantheon, which would you most want to own and which would you least want to own and why? And you need to roll this with advantage.
Oh, advantage. Excellent. All right, here we go. With advantage, only a 7.
Ooh, I think that's a little disappointing, but at the same time, I can't think of that many vehicles across the Tall Tale Tavern Pantheon, so it's probably good that it wasn't 20. That's part of why I like the question, because I like the exercise of trying to think of what all vehicles there are, and that time starts now. And I think
that time starts now.
Is an animal that you ride a vehicle? No. Let's look up the definition of vehicle.
Animal pulling something that you sit in a vehicle.
I think that's
is Santa's sleigh a vehicle?
Okay, now Kyle.
Because if so,
I looked up vehicle, and the definition is a thing used for transporting people or goods, especially on land, such as car, truck, or cart. But is an animal a thing?
No, it's a creature.
I guess in D&D terms,
it's an object.
It is a creature. So the axe beak is out. That's what I need to know.
The axe beak that's a mount.
That's a mount. A mount is different than a vehicle. So if anyone out there,
now what if your player character is a vehicle? What if you're Ben Biofuel?
Oh, that's on my list.
A
that's
transformer. Yes,
absolutely not.
No, I don't want
do not want that vehicle anywhere near me.
But those skin leathery seats, that's got to be nice.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, it feels good on your skin. A little skin on skin contact, a little bonding. Like a newborn baby bonding with its mother every time I sit in shorts in Ben Biofuel. Imagine being Ben Biofuel and somebody rips a fart into the seat. Do you think he smells it?
Maybe not in the seat. It has to be. I feel like his nose would be the vents. right?
Or is that his mouth because it blows? Well, your nose blows out too, I guess.
His mouth is the gas cap where you just
That's his mouth.
just go. That's where his mouth is.
Is the tailpipe
like
the anus then?
Yeah, yeah, it is because that's canon because that's where his shotgun.
That's
He
true.
has like a tailpipe that came out of his trunk when he was in human form.
Okay, well, let's think about vehicles. Now, this is appropriate that this came from Ryan because two of the first vehicles I can even think of, really three of only two, are from him, right? There's Cloudy with a Chance of Fireballs. He's got the airship. And then Lament of the Void, we've got the spaceship we were flying on there. I can't remember if that one had a name or not. I know the bad one did, but the one that we flew, I don't remember if it had a name. What other vehicles have there been, Kyle? There's
the Lady Lactose.
Of course. The Lady Lactose. The Crunchitizer. I mean, that's a strong contender right there. The freaking Crunchy. Ooh, there's Dan's Dancing Table. From the Christmas Adventure.
There's your wagon. There's the wagon that you fixed, that Memtiro fixed with the giant Gatling gun on
and
the back.
I love that. But honestly, the fact that I brought up Dan's Dancing Table, the answer's so obvious. It's Santa's sleigh. You could have Santa's
That's what I said.
sleigh,
Did you hear me say
No,
it?
I didn't hear you say it. Honestly, I didn't.
Yeah, I said it. You must have missed it over
cut out. The audio's been a little shitty.
The first thing I said was
Good.
Santa was like a creature's pulling something like a sleigh, like Santa's sleigh. Yes, it's absolutely 100% my first pick.
It's got to be that. Okay, it's Santa's sleigh is the obvious choice for Kyle. I kind of like the wagon that I fixed that I kept mistakenly referring to as a table, mostly because I like that moment of actually getting to use my ability to fix the wheel, but I don't know if it's really a great...
What do you think about, what about just like an electric bike? That was in the cyberpunk world. You guys rode around we rode around on electric bikes. That's the thing.
That's true. Those are pretty cool. Did we ever ride regular bikes in the Halloween one?
I don't know if we were.
I think we ended up walking.
I think you just walked.
Damn, I would have said just a regular bike. The lamest answer. Just a thing I could get at the store if I wanted to. Just a regular bike. Be great.
I'll just take a regular bike. What about the ships? Is a ship a vehicle? It's got to be like mothership, you know? And Bob's ship is pretty cool. It's kind of like a big RV almost.
They are cool,
kind of
but
vibe.
we've established that I'm afraid of being in space. So it's like, I don't think I can take a space vehicle.
I'm not afraid to take a space. I would love to have a space vehicle, but I'm taking Santa's sleigh.
Of course.
So
I mean, you have to take Santa's sleigh.
But how freaking cool would it be to have a spaceship, dude? Like, so cool. You could live on it. You don't have to fly it into space.
That's true. Could I take it
like,
into the ocean?
Like
sometimes in Star Trek, I feel like they take the Starship Enterprise like underwater.
You want to do that? Are you more scared of space or the bottom of the ocean?
I think I'm more scared of space. I feel like I feel to me, if I got crushed by the weight of the ocean, like one of those people in that billionaire submarine thing, it'd just be so instant. You're just, it's nothing. You're done. Instant lights out. Which would probably be the same for space, maybe, depending on how you get sucked out into space. But I worry that I'd get sucked out into space and I'd be alive for like 10 seconds before, I'd be like Star-Lord.
I think you get more time than that if you're sucked out in space. Yeah, I think you get a minute or something.
I don't want that. I don't want to feel my eyeballs like boiling, in the cold or whatever. Yeah. That sounds horrific to me. I would rather just get instant compressed. I'm gone. That's it.
Yeah, for choosing ways to die, I suppose.
That's why I'm more afraid of one than the other. That's all. That's
right.
That's all I'm going with here. I really think that I would if I could take any of them, it might honestly be the ship from Cloudy with a Chance of Fireballs. I think I would be okay with like a magical airship versus.
Yeah, magical airship. Yeah, that would be pretty fun. That would be pretty good.
I'm just trying to glance through with a minute left if there's anything we've forgotten about of the pantheon, the many vehicles of the Tall Tale Tavern. There's Tensor's floating disc. Does that count as a vehicle? We used that in Killing Time, I think.
I think that makes sense. You want to have a floating disc that moves at like 10 feet.
It'd be kind of cool. Could really freak people out, I guess. If I'm just like, check it out, I can levitate and I just step on my floating disc and away. But I don't think you can. The floating disc follows you, right? The person who cast it.
Yeah, so you have to have somebody else.
Yeah, I'm like at that point, I'm the animal pulling the sleigh. I'm turning myself into a ring.
Well, no, I'm still. If you're picking it as your vehicle, you're the one sitting on it. So you have to have somebody who casts it for you and walks around.
I'm taking that, but I'm making it so you're the one who has to cast it, and just I get to float behind you gently, and time is up.
If you're coming to Gen Con this year, you'll see me pulling Scott on my floating disc.
I'm just picturing myself turning into like Jabba the Hutt, sitting on a floating disc, being carted everywhere. Could be useful. Could be useful in a hospital. It's like a hospital bed. If you could cast Tensor's floating disc, you throw a patient on there and carry him through the hallway. I don't know how much weight it can hold. Can it hold like unlimited weight?
No, there's got to be a limit.
I think there's
usually the text on those Tensors floating discs.
Time is up, so let's look it up. We're done with the question. We might as well learn about Tensors floating discs. Question. Let's see. The spell creates a circular horizontal plane of force 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick that floats 3 feet above the ground in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The disc remains for the duration and can hold up to 500 pounds. So there you go. 500. That's pretty good, though. It would take me a while to get up to 500, so I think
you'll be fine. You'll be good. You can eat all. I can eat all the nutty bars I want and still be fine. Well, cool. Well, that I think that takes us to our tweener portion, does it not?
The tweener, it does. Kyle's tweener segment.
And guess what? I do have something prepared for us tonight to do. In honor of our next adventure coming out, Midnight at the Museum, and in honor of today being Dr. Seuss Day, I have a question for you, Scott. Do you like museums? Do you like them a bunch? Do you like fantastical relics? I sure have a hunch that you should come to the Museum of Items of Magic and Such, a place where the items are from all places you please, from movies and books and TTRPGs. It's time to come wander the halls of this place. Are you ready? If so, let's see a smile on that face.
I did a big smile. Good. Real big, folks. I'm so ready.
It was as big as the Grinch smile, that was.
My heart grew 3 sizes. I'm Kyle. I think I'm having a heart attack. No.
Not yet, because speaking of faces and places and smiles, I'll be your guide, Kyle the Vile. Don't worry, the name is misleading. I was born on opposite day, hence the meaning is that I'm not vile. I'm just Kyle, who is all about smiles. Now please follow me down the aisle, single file. Our first stop is behind this red curtain. In fact, all of our relics are hidden for certain. In most museums, you can just see what you're looking at, but isn't it more fun to guess with a riddle that if you're correct and you get more than 3, you'll get a prize so divine you'll feel bird as a free? Or is it free as a bird? I'm sorry, you see, being born on opposite day makes it hard to thinking. Okay.
I like that last line. Makes it hard to thinking.
Okay, number 1. Here we are, so it goes. The now you see me, now you don'ts. This exhibit has 3 items in it. To get the point, guess them all and you'll win it. Okay. The first is our most precious prize. The I see it, but I don't. That matches your size. Put it on and disappear from all of your friends, but your enemy will see you. Take it off, I'd recommend.
The item you speak is the One Ring, I think.
Take back the curtain and you see the One Ring. Good job.
Thank you.
But this exhibit, the Now You See Me, Now You Don't, has 3 parts.
Of course.
So you got one of them.
One.
You have to get all 3 to get the point. The second in here looks old, but its condition is mint. The inconspicuous coat of concealment. Put it on with your friends. If you're small, you might all fit and walk through the castle without hint of a glint.
I hope I don't choke. This game is no joke. It must be Harry's invisibility cloak.
It is. He takes back the curtain. You see the cloak of invisibility. Good job. And then the third one. I open the curtain and reveal there's nothing in the third bay. Now, this exhibit had 3 items in it, but we lost the third. Someone spilled it on Mr. Minnick. Now Mr. Minnick is in the exhibit, a permanent addition to the first on our visit. Say hi, Mr. Minnick. Hello, can I get out? Not now, Mr. Minnick. This item can't be washed out. But I've written a letter. You know we can't see it. Now, Scott, can you tell me what's on Mr. Minnick to win it?
This is tough, because I really can't think of something else that rhymes with disappearing ink. Acme disappearing ink? I guess maybe we're calling it. I don't know. Is that it? That's my
You
answer.
got it. Invisible ink. I'm giving it to you. Woo! Yes. Great. You got 1 point. So you got a point for the Now You See Me, Now You
Excellent.
Don't. Good job.
That was great.
You need 3 to win this game, and the winning thing is that you don't have to rhyme the whole rest of the episode. If you lose, then everything you say has to rhyme. So,
I will honor that.
good luck.
So, let's do this.
All right. Next, here we go. The next item on our journey is not one that you'll need. It's the Beautimizer 3001-243. The Beautimizer 3001-243 can turn you from a gross, ugly hag to hottie. It'll give you a bust. It'll give you red hair. It'll give you a life as long as you dare. But take it off, and you soon will be aware that all of the years you have lived, now will you wear. Turn to dust you might do, but in the world it's from, turning to dust instead of ash might be more pleasant for you.
Fuck. I don't think I know this one. The world it's from, turning to dust instead of ash might be more pleasant for you. The Beautimizer is something about red hair, and I take it off, and it changes me. I take all the years. Fudge! I'm gonna have to talk in rhymes, I think. I don't know, Kyle. I don't think I know this one.
I'll give you a hint, but for no points.
Okay.
It's a necklace.
Is a necklace. I thought it might be a necklace, and I still don't know. I don't think I know.
That is Melisandre's ruby necklace from Game of Thrones. I really thought you were putting the clues together. I thought you were going to get it.
I should have put them together. I guess I forgot that sometimes I forget that there is actual magic in Game of Thrones because it's so magic light, even though there's dragons. So I should think that there's magic, obviously, but damn it.
Yeah, it's so magic light that there's very few things. She's like the only, I don't know. There's probably more, but she's like the only.
They have the people who they call like the warlocks of Karth, but I don't know if they do anything other than drink like blue liquid and get high all day, it seems like.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see if you can get 3 points. You've got 1 so far.
Okay.
Here we go. Next one. This item is a helpful little thing to bestow. It's the stab slicer of light that will glow for a foe. For a trip where friends are uncertain, a slicer that lights up for the enemy is behind this curtain.
Okay. I think that for this clue, I've got just the thing. It must be Bilbo's sword. I'm talking about Sting.
You got it. Good job.
Woo!
Bilbo's Sting sword is from Lord of the Rings. Good job.
I always wanted that sword. Just to pause the tour for a second, tour guide. I have Aragorn's sword back here, Strider's sword. You can vaguely see it in my camera, but I always wanted Sting as a kid because it was like child size, and I was like, yeah, I could really use that one. And I see why an adult thought better than to get me a child size actual sword.
Child size actual sword. It is one of the cooler things from Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of cool things.
I guess it's like probably the inspiration for like a weapon of warning. You think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I believe that is the idea there. Anyways, to continue the tour, this next item will portal you there and then back. So we named it the Staff of the Hole in the Back. It creates 2 holes, go in one and out the other, then back on through. It's okay, don't be bothered. The movie it's from I know you've seen because it's from the world of your favorite TTRPG.
What is the name of the staff that he has? That it's Justice Smith's staff in the Dungeons and Dragons movie is the Rod of Teleportation. I don't know. I don't know its name, Kyle, and I'm not going to know it. So
Oh, darn it. It's the Hither Thither staff.
The Hither Thither stick. You're right. That's such a good name, too. Damn it. I love the name of that thing.
It is.
Damn it.
Okay, this one's for all the marbles. This last one. You've got 2 points. You need 3.
Ew.
Now, this is the end of the tour for us. I'm sure that you're starving, even ravenous. Well, don't worry. The Museum of Items of Magic and such has a wonderful, delicious, world-renowned brunch. But we took too long, so that we've just missed the brunch. So the brunch is now lunch, and on lunch we must munch. And lucky for us, with lunch comes punch. So on lunch we will munch and we will sip on our punch, but as a man born on opposite day, I must first crunch on dessert, which is the last magic item on our tour. A dessert. Hold it together. A dessert so delightful, it will keep you wanting more. You'll never be satisfied no matter how much you eat. You'll eat and you'll eat and you'll eat till you can't see your feet. You'll be so ashamed you'll hide in your wardrobe and never come back to the real world, the real globe.
I'm not. Wardrobe makes me think of Narnia, and you said the word delight, so I'm going to say Turkish delight. And that's my
You got it.
stance. Woohoo! Thank
Turkish
God.
delight. Woo! You got it.
Is that what happens?
You got all 3 points. You what?
I was gonna say, is that what the Turkish delight does in the book? I can't remember what.
Yes, Turkish delight is a metaphor for sin, where it's like if he delights in sin, then he will never like stop delighting in like evil and like his own desire and stuff. And so it's like so Turkish delight is this magically infused. Or like magically seductive stuff that the queen, I think, serves him, and then I don't know if he gets addicted to it or what. It's been a long time, but that's the deal with Turkish delight. Is I had to look it up to see if it is like a magic thing or if he was just desiring. He just
really
the
loved
treat.
how it tasted. Yeah,
like he just really loved Turkish delight. You got it. You got 3 points. You don't have to speak in Dr. Seuss rhymes the rest of the episode.
I kind of wanted to do it just because it would have led to a lot of me not talking and you having to fill the space while I thought of rhymes.
Right.
But thank goodness that's not the case. That was a great game, Kyle. I'm going to tell you, I loved that.
Thanks. It was fun. I had to get my least favorite Dr. Seuss book, which is also one of my favorites. It's the Sleep book. Do you guys have the Sleep book at home? The Dr. Seuss Sleep one?
No, I don't have the Sleep book.
I love it because it's fun. I hate it because it's like 10,000 pages and filled with words, but it's about the whole world falling asleep, like area by area. And he goes through all these different crazy areas with all these, crazy people. And it's a really fun book, but the kids want to read it a lot. And it's like a novel. It's like, so. But
I looked
through that to get some inspiration. And then, yeah.
I just love the description of a book. I hate it because it's really long and filled with words. Like, okay, that's kind of the point of a book.
It's true. I like it in theory, but when it's like, let's read this book and it's short, or this one that's like
Dr. Seuss books are all
long.
kind of long for like kids books. They're all like 50 pages. I feel like the real ones, like Fox and Socks, goes on, man. That thing does not end, and it will tire your tongue out. That's usually our go-to is Fox and Socks or Redfish, Bluefish. Whew. Great game, loved it.
But yeah,
Kyle.
that was fun to put together.
And we've got our roll from the tavern, and I think this is kind of a miraculous event that happened on the roll. 2 different people rolled back to back. Clay and Dane both rolled 86 on the sheet.
It's got to be an incredible roll here. Incredible question.
We will be honoring Clay because he was first for 16 minutes. I don't know. It's it's an interesting question because it's something that I feel like we just talked about in the tavern very recently in the Discord chat, which is, this is a very simple question for 16 minutes starting now, Kyle, which is favorite species? That's it. Favorite species in D&D.
All right.
Ooh.
Does the question say in D&D?
It doesn't, but as the person who wrote it, that is what I meant. But if we want to just talk in general about our favorite species.
I think axolotls are a pretty cool species.
I do love an axolotl. You know? I'm not going to lie to you. Capybaras, those are pretty cool. I mean, I love a capybara. Man.
D&D species. D&D species.
I'm going to look up a list of D&D species. I'll start off and say one that I love that I've never actually played, which is appropriate because we were talking about how I have it in my back pocket, a character that I'd like to play as is a furbolg. I just find them incredibly charming looking furbolgs.
Tell me about furbolgs, because they look like big dorks to me, is how I would describe a furbolg.
I think that's accurate. They're from the Feywild, I think. They have giant blood in them, but they're like the smallest of the giant kin. And what I really like about them is that they always look like they have a cold. A furbolg always looks like he has a runny nose to me. And I find that very endearing to think of like just kind of a large, semi-dull-witted, maybe soft-spoken dude who's just got like a cold, who just is out on adventures.
Just got a runny nose.
He just wants to help people, though.
Just one of my kids. I'm just going to call my kids furbolgs because one of them always has a runny nose. Which one's a furbolg today? But yeah, I think you're right that they were like giants that were maybe like migrated to the Feywild and then just became all magical in nature. I think they have like a speak to plants ability where they can speak to plants but like can't hear them back or something.
I love that. They can speak to them, but Kyle, we can all speak to plants and not hear them back.
Great. They're not magical at all. They're magical because they can talk.
Oh man, that's so dumb.
I'm trying to pull them up on D&D Beyond to like look at it, but it
is loading slow. Yeah, for me too. D&D Beyond is being a big pain in the butt. I've got furbolgs here. Distant cousins of giants. The first furbolgs wandered the primeval forests of the multiverse, and the magic of those forests entwined itself with the furbolg souls. Centuries later, that magic still thrums inside a furbolg, even one who has never lived under the boughs of a great forest. A furbolg's magic is an obscuring sort, which allowed their ancestors to pass through a forest without disturbing it. So deep is the connection between a furbolg and the wild places of the world that they can communicate with flora and fauna, and furbolgs can live up to 500 years. I just love that they're like gentle giants. The fact that they look like they're sick all the time with that, just being gentle and being sick is just it's very sweet to me. And
here's their communication thing. And it's, they can communicate in a limited manner with beasts, plants, and vegetation. They can they can understand the meaning of your words. So you can talk to a plant and it can understand you. But you have no special ability to understand them in return.
That is my kind of character trait that I love. That is useless, but it's so good. I'd love to have a character.
You have advantage on charisma checks made to influence them, though. So for beasts, it makes sense, Yeah.
But what if you couldn't? What if you could talk to trees and be like, "Well, we're being followed. Could you please increase your vine thickness so the other carts can't go after us?" And just the roots rise up and make it difficult terrain, I like the idea of somebody who can get the plants on their side. Or even, I love the idea of if I just talk to plants and let them know everything's going to be okay. That's all he does. They can't respond to him or anything.
That's a sweet character. I want to play that guy.
Exactly. I love furbolgs. They seem like giant sweetie pies to me. So I really want to play one. What about you, Kyle?
I'm going to play really... Huh? Yeah, we talked about this recently in the Discord. And I think my favorite species is just Aarakocras, and that's because I love bald eagles. I'm just like an eagle guy. I like
That's
them.
so interesting to me. What about a bald eagle appeals to you so much?
they've always been my favorite animal. Like I love them. I love going to Dollywood. At Dollywood, they've got a bald eagle, conservatory.
As someone who's never been to Dollywood,
then,
just the sentence, I love bald eagles, I love going to Dollywood, is like, those could not be less connected thoughts in my brain.
Everybody understands. They have bald eagles in there with like one leg kind of hopping around.
Well, that's
like,
sad.
oh, it's so cool. Yeah, but they're big. They're birds of prey. They're dangerous. They're America, which sometimes I feel
it's a little tough
very
now.
American. Sometimes,
right now.
Sometimes I don't feel so American. Sometimes I feel more Canadian. I got my bear Canadian hat on.
I think that's honestly what works against bald eagles to me is I'm like, it just makes me think of America, and I don't know if I want to think about that right now.
I don't actually imagine playing a horrible Eric Okra character that's just America.
Oh gosh,
like just a belligerent asshole Eric Okra character. That'd be awful.
It would be.
I like the idea of having a fly speed. I just want to be a bird person. I think if I could choose, it's just because I love bald eagles. Like there's nothing real deep there. I want to be able to fly. That's a big thing. I always want to fly. Whenever like everyone's like, "What's your superpower you would choose?" Flight every single time for me. I want to be able to fly. So that's probably where it mostly comes from.
All right.
So
I mean, I'm down with that. I love an aarakocra. I love a like an animal hybrid species. I think I'm in another life. I could have been a furry. Like I love a tabaxi.
Why not this life, Scott?
Not this
you
life,
can do
I
it.
Promise. I mean, well,
I promise.
Why not this life? Because I don't need my wife to leave me. So I don't need to become a furry. Oh, I really hate that right now. The D&D Beyond page for species is like dying. The one time I've ever needed D&D Beyond to work for me.
Well, I can talk about the other one that I love is plasmoids.
Oh.
I've talked a lot about loving plasmoids. I like the idea of just being a blob person and being a blob. If I want to be a blob or look humanoid, if I want to look humanoid, if I want to punch something, I love the flavor of combat. I love to, adding a bunch of flavor into what your combat looks like is very fun for me as a player. And so if I can be a plasmoid that I decide my fist looks like a hammer when I punch somebody, I think that's so fun. And I think that's great. And with Bob, the character that I made, I gave him, a feat or something to give him disguise self, the ability to do that. And so that like adds a whole nother layer where I can make him look however I, want, in a lot of different ways, or changes color and all this fun stuff.
Yeah,
so
that sort of amorphous body is very cool. And you've always done really cool things with the plasmoid. I agree. It like, it feels like, it's like being Mr. Fantastic or something. You could punch someone and make your fists giant, as you hit them, which is pretty tight to be able to do.
It's pretty
tight. I want to say for flying ones, one that I've never played, but that I've always liked the look of more than aarakocras when I see them is the owlkin race. It's not, I don't even know what book those show up in, but the owl, I think it's because I love owls. Speaking of like, if I had to pick a bird that I think is the coolest, I think owls are the coolest because they've got like, they're so associated with being wise, which
owls are amazing.
They're so fucking cool. As a kid, when you learned that as a kid that like owls could turn their head all the way around, wasn't that like the sickest shit ever? That's so cool.
Yeah, man.
I tried.
Do you know where I go to the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo, where I always like to go? The owl.
Kyle,
exhibit,
it's not the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo anymore. They no longer allow children.
Right,
it's
the Fort Wayne Zoo. It's the Fort Wayne Adult Zoo.
Have you been in the gift shop where they have the little area that says like children's area? In the gift shop now, like in the corner, there's just like a little spot that says children's area, and I love to look at it and just think this whole zoo used to be for children, and now they're relegated to this corner.
Now they have this one corner. I love looking at the owls and the hawks at the zoo, but yeah, owls are awesome. Has it ever hooted at you at the zoo when you're there? Like,
no, I would love that if it hooted at me. If it was hooting, I'd be hollering. To do it. Okay.
Yeah, I was. It happened once. Now every time I go there, I look like such a moron. I just hoot. But I think owlkins are in the Strixhaven book, I think, which makes sense that they're in like the magic school supplement because they're wise. You feel like you.
It makes me think of the Avatar episode when they go into like the underground temple or whatever, and there's like the owl dude who's they give him like the water scrolls. These water scrolls are lovely for my collection or whatever. I love that dude.
Yes, that guy. Blanking on his name right now, but
somebody will tell us. Somebody out there knows. I'm looking at other races. I finally got the page to load, Kyle. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? One of my absolute favorites is a turtle. I love a turtle. I think turtles are so awesome. I think they're honestly a little. They're almost too powerful with how good their AC is. Like I wish it didn't feel like a cheesy move to pick a turtle because you give yourself like 19 AC. You know, like it negates a lot of the build you have to do for a class to just like have AC given to you like that. Because I love being a turtle person. I love the Ninja Turtles. So that's probably the entire reason behind it, if I'm being honest.
I think it's just fun to play as like an animal creature. I think it's just, it's if your setting is wild and fantastical, which almost all of our settings are like that, it's fun to play as something wild and fantastical, like a turtle person. The turtles are interesting because, like in their original book or in the Mordenkainen book, their lifespan was limited to like 30 years, and I think the Aarakocra was the same, where it's like you could be a turtle person and you think they should have longer life, but then it was like they only live 30 years. What's that all about? And I think the new version, everyone says that basically everybody kind of just lives as long a life as long as humans, unless you're a furbolg or an elf or something. But yeah, turtles are cool. I've never had anybody use, or I've never seen anybody use the shell ability where you just like get in your shell and increase your AC for a little bit. Not sure how that would come up, but I guess it'd be like your stale form for Milford.
Exactly. It would be, I think. I want to get off. I'm trying to get off of animal ones for a little bit to shout out. One of the other ones that I really love that's come up on the podcast a few times is the Eladrin. I really like, I just think it's really cool the way they change with the season. Obviously that's kind of like the whole idea of them, but I like something that is so in touch with nature and in tune with nature that it is affected by it in a way. I like something that also has changing abilities that depending on like what version you are or whatever. There's a lot of complexity to an Eladrin that you can work with, and they just also look really cool to me. Like plant-based races, there's not a ton of those, but there's also the I made you buy the book for it. I think I'm trying to find what they're called. They're called like the Verdon. Yeah, the Verdon. There's like the one. It's a race that is just like a completely plant-based kind of race that I think is like really cool.
Oh,
that exists.
Did you play the What was your Verdon?
I didn't play it. I think I was. Okay. I wanted to play one, possibly, or maybe we needed to buy Acquisitions Incorporated for something else. But I knew that race was in there, and I just thought it was cool. I want to play one eventually when the right time comes, I guess. I love half elves. I think half elves are really cool, but mostly just for. Well, I guess for both. What I really like about half elves.
I like that they're in between mortality and like immortality, basically. I think it's a cool concept to have one of your parents like have to die, like Aragorn has to die, even though he has longer life, being whatever he is in Lord of the Rings. He's got some other type of blood or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I like that concept of I like that backstory element of one parent living forever, essentially, and the other parent being like a human that probably died at age 65 or something, and then you're in the middle. You're like you lived to 150 or whatever their lifespan is. I think that's really interesting.
My first ever character was a half elf that I ever played in D&D.
Hey, me too.
D&D 3.5. Well, look at that, a couple of half elves over here. Put us together. Nice. You got a whole
couple
elf.
of half elves.
I like a half elf.
They got
too,
like a bunch
of
boost to their.
I'm not in love with elves. I've never been in love with elves as a race. Even in Lord of the Rings, I'm always like, these guys are kind of assholes. I mean, they have a reason to be because like the humans, you know, didn't destroy the ring or whatever. But I just always remember watching those movies as kids and being like, I don't think I'd want to be an elf. I'd rather be Aragorn than an elf. And I guess he's closer to a half elf, so that makes sense then that we'd choose those over regular elves.
And we've talked a little bit about this before, because the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series really follows the elves, and like that's just like immediately does not make you interested in that series. Where me, I like elves. I like them. I don't think that they're my favorite, but I do think they're interesting and cool, and I like the idea of like, what would I do if I had 300 years to become a blacksmith or something, you know, or to hone a trade, you know. Would I get so bored? Like, what am I going to do with my life if it's that long?
That's true. I mean, I do feel like they have a certain degree of like ennui or boredom with life kind of inherent to them, like that ethereal nature where they feel a little disconnected from the world in a way, because they live beyond so much of what is happening in it, you know, which can be captivating, but it just doesn't pull me in to want to be one, I guess, when I'm playing in the same way. We've only got 20 seconds. We really blew through the time on this, honestly.
20 seconds. We've covered a lot of good ones.
Yeah, I want to shout out before we're done. I love a tiefling and an Aasimar too. I love like races that have been like incidentally touched by magic, you know, in a weird way that has manifested. I think that's really cool to be similar to being like caught between the two worlds of your parents, to be completely sort of divorced from your parents in a way, like a tiefling is. You know, I think that's fascinating. And time is up.
Time's up.
And that means time's up for this episode of Tall Tale Time Triple 3020 Talk Show, Kyle. It flew by.
It's over.
I know. I'm so sad. This was a good one, I think. I hope you enjoyed it if you're out there listening. And if you're subscribed to the Patreon, please keep continuing to do that. If you're not, consider subscribing to it, or just continue enjoying these monthly free ones, and keep your eyes on the feed for Midnight at the Museum coming later this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I play a pretty fun guy. So does Kyle. Doesn't really play a fun guy, but he plays a...
No, I'm not. This is my most straightforward character, or just straight character, I guess.
You're much more
straight
of a
man character.
Yeah, you're not going for, it's not like you're straight character, like you're boring or anything like that, but you're definitely like, you're not going for comedic vibes with the character. You play
not
him,
going for
he's
a
genuine,
bit this time.
I guess.
Trying to genuine, yeah. Sure.
I think you did a great job.
But it was a lot of fun. Thank you. You too.
Oh,
there's just National Compliment Day yesterday. I didn't say, hey, you look nice. There you go.
Oh, thank you. You know what? And listener, you look nice too. I didn't really hear what Kyle said because the internet's being weird. So I'm ending this episode right now. Okay, bye everybody. Bye.